every Genshin character's real-world job. A freelancer in literally any field, and they're probably underpaid as well. A travel advisor, a very talkative travel advisor. A microbiologist, probably a really rich one too. A certified flight instructor. She gets to travel, meet new people, all while doing what she loves. A travel writer gives her a chance to explore the world. A nurse. It's a more realistic way of helping people for a girl who just wants to help people. A cargo ship captain. She gets to be close to her one true love, the saltwater, while also using her skills to protect her boat. A retail worker. I can't see him lasting in many other occupations. However, in retail, when no one really cares, yeah, he'd be fine. So apparently an Exorcist is a real job, neat. But besides for that, just a low stress job would be good for the boy. Maybe a massage therapist. A private investigator. This way he can do his own thing without being tied down by anyone else. A bartender, until she gets fired for attempting to inflict alcohol poisoning. But after that, maybe a counselor to get people to stop drinking. A VTuber, self-explanatory. A secretary, a retail worker, a dentist, a construction worker. She can do literally anything and probably will do literally everything. A casket delivery driver, because being a director of a funeral parlor with that level of optimism is a little concerning. A Walmart manager or prime minister, depends on the day. A porn star or striptease dancer, or even a male prostitute, pick your favorite. A politician, the actual good kind, the one out of 100 that people actually like. An explosives technician or arsonist. Wait, that's not a job. Anyway, depends on your mood. A secretary. A very seductive secretary. Or just a librarian, I guess. A crack addict fortune teller, who's insanely pricey, but is surprisingly accurate in her readings. President, doesn't matter the country, she would be great. A housekeeper or fitness instructor, depending on which route you want to go down. A pharmacy assistant or even a receptionist at a funeral parlor. Unemployed or a simple job like retail until he becomes unemployed again. A lab technician or just a botanist. I'm kind of leaning more towards a botanist actually because of her obsession with her tetratonic sweet flower. A professional MMA fighter. Eventually, I could see him potentially killing someone in the ring. After that, maybe he becomes a babysitter. A professional alcoholic storyteller. I can imagine he would have a very niche demographic that would probably pay top dollar to hear this man preach. A Michelin star chef, a sous chef, a pastry chef, just any job that involves cooking, really. A personal bodyguard, probably protecting someone of a very high status. Author or attorney. Either path he decides to take, this man is going to be swimming in cash. A musician, kinda self-explanatory. Although I can imagine like Venti, she would have a very niche crowd that would simp for her like crazy, and I would probably be part of that crowd. A radio spokesperson, with his love for talking, his vast knowledge base, and majestic voice, he could be perfect to just listen to while eating breakfast. A debt collector, since she isn't afraid of getting her hands dirty either, she could probably do some under-the-table jobs on the side as well. A professional dancer, or potentially even a military officer. Eula has a very diverse skill set. A judge for the Supreme Court. Usually it takes someone 5 years to become a judge. It would take this girl 5 months. A photographer. This way it would give him a lot of freedom to just go wherever he really wants. Plus, his pictures would be nice. A daycare educator. This girl would get along with any child, or just with anyone, actually. Plus, during the summer months, when the fireworks are at their peak, she can be a pyrotechnician. A bed and mattress tester. Yes, this is a real job, and Sayu would be great at it. A pet sitter, for someone who's a bit of a shut-in and might get a little infuriated with human beings from time to time. I think staying at home, watching cats and Miko Yeah, I think she'd like this. Head Chief of Police, kind of self-explanatory, and honestly, this world could use a lot more officers like Sarah on the force. A Hostage Negotiator. Although she can potentially have a job where she is in a position of power, I think the negotiation aspect, along with her just wanting to help people, makes this a good career path for her. A Wildlife Biologist. I don't know much about this chick, but every time I hear about her, she's in a forest, so yeah. The world's most overqualified housekeeper. Although he has the potential to go in many other fields, his modest nature will likely end up with him doing something like housekeeping. A personal trainer. It's a good mix for him, because a lot of the times he's gonna be the center of attention, almost like a teacher, and he would also be able to help out his bros get in shape. A therapist. Surprisingly, the military fox is really good at just helping people with everyday issues. A plant biologist. With her diet consisting of, well, mostly just flowers, I'm sure she has a vast array of knowledge when it comes to flowers and other forms of plant life. A musical theater performer, or honestly just anything related to the performing arts. And she's gonna be rich, like really rich. A politician, the corrupt kind, and yet somehow in the public's eyes, everybody thinks she's a saint. An ambassador for any country. His ability to maintain positive and mutually beneficial relationships with other people is pretty top tier. A professional gambler. If you don't consider that a job, then a private investigator. Honestly, any job that pays well and gives Yelan a lot of freedom. Originally, I was gonna say something along the lines of a criminal defense lawyer. However, due to her obsession with freedom, I'll simply put her as a freelancer, or a job hopper, if you will. A detective or a sugar daddy, depends on what you're in the mood for. A botanist, a pretty obvious choice, although he is definitely a multi-talented character. I think this suits him the most because the man just loves his plant life. A motivational speaker, the type that goes to school auditoriums and just tells kids to do their best and never give up and follow your dreams. An international arms dealer, more than likely an illegal one. A dancing instructor. She loves to perform, and even more than that, she loves to help people and make them happy. A pretty simple one. A stand-up comedian. The type you either love or hate, but the people who love him, like, really love him. Maybe he's also in the Secret Service as a part-time gig, who knows. A chief executive officer. With her large sack of leadership skills, she would get accustomed to a role like this rather quickly, I can imagine. I can see her doing a lot of things, but the two big ideas I have are A, a preschool teacher, or B, a wildlife biologist. Anything she does though, she'd be great at due to her open-mindedness. An astrologist who's probably working 80-hour weeks and is significantly sleep deprived. A child psychiatrist. Yes, you heard me right. He seems to be more open and controlled when around children, and the fact that he suffered mental health issues at a young age would make him very relatable to a lot of the kids, which at that age, relatability is the one thing kids are looking for the most. An overqualified college professor who loves her job but hates most of her students. The literal definition of a love and hate relationship. A first responder. She cares so much about people's health and well-being that I can realistically see her going into many different medical fields, but with her eagerness to help, yeah, first responder. Literally any job that can get him rich so he can retire and live an easy life at an early age. And with his mega brain, he might even get rich on just investing. So an investor, I guess. Another very widely skilled character. I have two career paths in mind for her. The first is a private security guard, which is pretty self-explanatory. The second is a teacher. She seems to care a lot about the children, so her as a middle school teacher, although some people might not see it, I think it would be pretty cool for her. A land surveyor. Due to his skill set, he'd probably be working directly for the government, making 6 figures a year. Yeah, be a pretty wealthy man, Miko. An architect, kinda obvious. But since he's an anime architect, he probably transcends the skill level of just normal people. An epidemiologist, I think I pronounced that right, which is basically someone who researches human health and, in short, tries to figure out why people get sick and just supports the longevity of health and life in general. It's also related to the pharmaceutical industry, so yeah, I think this man would be pretty good here. Alright guys, that was every Genshin character's job. I hope you enjoyed, and take care.
Thanks for watching. Please sub. Bye.